Alrighty. Let's head back to the title screen here. Oh, no, shut up, me. Where's that come? There we go. Having computer issues out the wazoo today, unfortunately. I did a quick reboot just to, you know, keep everything spicy clean. And it's, I got a boot failure and I had to reset my BIOS. And that was scary. But seems to be fine. Seemed to be live here. So, fun fact, this game had a little, had an update to, I don't remember what the update did because I haven't played it until today. But it's, mistakenly made it so you only get Japanese in this first menu here. It does have English, it's supposed to be in English, but there'll be a patch for that. But yes, this is 24 megabytes, which is incredible. And you won't know why that's incredible, because not only is there a full game in here with, pretty good music. Neptunia always has really good music though. But it has a scoreboard feature, fully online, automatically submitted scoreboard. Not only that, it has fully automatic replays. 24 megabyte. I couldn't find a library that does that in under 24 megabytes on its own. That's nuts. That's an odd move for the highest score thing, but maybe this person... Wait. That was not the right replay. Interesting! Maybe they broke the replays. Okay, I'm a little bit less... Oh, I just noticed... Oh, those are cheats, aren't they? Okay, so for real scores, Iffy's gonna have to fix that. But for real replays, they work as far as I can tell. I didn't look at the score before I did that, so yeah, Iffy's gonna have to do something about that, obviously. So yeah, I think once we get down here to 300,000s, these are legit. Yeah, you gotta make it believable. Look at that. When your score is, you know, 2 orders of magnitude higher than the next one down, a little bit suspicious. I'm sure they'll, you know, probably have to find some way to... They could probably just manually... For how many cheats there are, there's only like 10 cheaters. So they could just ban those people manually. Am I getting... performance a little weird? Hold on. My performance is weird. I can't be dealing with that in a shoot 'em up, so... Let's see what's going on here. Let me check my encoding thing. Super fast. Ultra fast. Alright. That's weird. I'm hoping it's not because my, it feels weird. Something's not right here. Yeah. What's going on here? Figure this only happens when I stream, of course, so... What is happening? My idle CPU... This game is using 3% of my CPU, yet my CPU is maxing out. Something's fucky here. Yeah, I'm not really surprised there's cheaters on the high scoreboard. Hopefully they'll do something about that, because, you know, that's poopy. I'm not streaming at 1080p, am I? This game... Oh, I am. That would be why. Okay, crap. Be back in just 1 second here. Sorry, but I gotta be able to play this smoothly, because it's a shoot 'em up. The stream will go down for like 3 seconds. Don't chill, don't leave the stream. It'll be right back. Okay, hopefully this works right. Okay, yeah, that's much better. Alright. We're just gonna restart here. You can't play shoot 'em ups with frame drops. It's against the law. So yeah, I was streaming this, like, you know, NES resolution game in 1080p. And I mean, this game, you would think, oh, how could this use a lot of bitrate? The background. Look at what the background is doing. I probably shouldn't even stream this in 60 FPS at 720p. But, yeah. Just because the game is small does not mean that the video file of the game will be small. In fact, like, 1 minute of footage of this game is surely bigger than the game itself. If we get any frame drops and stuff, that is not the game. I've played a decent amount. I've played an hour or so. The game does not drop frames when you're not recording it. It's just OBS. Fast-moving backgrounds murder bit rates in their sleep. It's unfortunate, but that's just how compression works. So there's nothing you can really do about it other than lower your quality. Also, how's that music? The music was a little bit too loud, so I bumped it down. I think it's fine now. Also, chat is going to be a little bit hard for me to keep up with. I'll try to peek in between levels and stuff. But yeah, it's going to only get crazier from here, and it's a little bit hard to keep up with chat already. Yeah, I can't really do fish. I got a cat that would just destroy them. And, fish seem fairly high maintenance, and they, like, die a lot, and, like, I'm not really about that life. I think if I didn't have a job and I didn't have a cat, I would be a lot more interested into fish things, but, like, maybe I can I'll get rich and famous and I'll hire, like, a butler just for my fish. Exclusive fish butler, and then he can do all of the fish not dying tasks by himself and allow me to like drive race cars and stuff in my free time. But until I get rich and famous and have a fish butler, I'll just make do with a cat. Cats are their own butler. You don't need a cat butler. Cats are the cat butler. You are the cat butler. They just take care of themselves. I don't understand that doggo. You can't hurt him. He's just there. This is Compa. Ow. Frick. See, I can't look at chat. Don't look at chat. Tap, tap. Why am I still Compa? There we go. I made a guide for this game. I linked it a little bit earlier. It's, there's only so much info a guide can have for, you know, an almost entirely skill-based game. But, you know, I try to have a little bit of information, some little strategies I do for the bosses. And considering the game just came out, it's not complete by any means. Oh, come on, man. This game is fairly hard. There's definitely be multiple playthroughs. There's no difficulty options, which kind of surprised me. It is like, this game is currently $4 on Steam, so it was kind of like the birth of like, from like a April Fool's Day joke gone into a real game. And it's 24 megabytes, which is still incredible. And it's just, for what it is, it's really cool. I would like difficulty modes, or like some kind of like, you know, there's no continues either. I'm kind of surprised by that. You know, most shoot 'em ups will have some pretty good accessibility features these days. This one is a pretty simple one. So it can be forgiving for lacking some of the more intensive stuff. Games like Mega Man Bullet Hell. Kind of. It kind of has one of the more usual Neptunia plot points of the CPUs are like brainwashed or gone evil or something happened and you gotta fight them and then they join you. So, you know, that's Compa, that's IF, we get all the CPUs. It's the CPUs, Compa, IF, and I don't think you recruit the final boss because then the game is over. You don't keep the characters the whole playthrough, by the way. I can't use Compa right now. And this, I don't know if something unlocks when you beat the game, so there may be a little bit more to it than I know. I love the little rainbow things, by the way. Do I have any other pets? No, Parker is plenty of enough pet. I had a goddamn raccoon that came in through my chimney once, but I'm not sure that qualifies as a pet. Raccoons are not good pets. You know what, fun fact, frickin' Japan thinks raccoons are great pets, actually, and Japan is now overrun with raccoons because idiots thought they would be adorable pets. They're not. Don't do that. Don't have a pet raccoon. They're gross and they're kind of dangerous, and they're not domesticated animals, really. Like, you can semi-domesticate anything, like people live with like lions and shit, but like, they could go crazy any day, and it's just... Raccoons are gross anyway. They eat trash. I mean, come on. They're much cuter in theory than in reality. Ugh, a possum is a pet. I can't even imagine. Possums are like... If a raccoon had raccoons in his backyard, that's what a possum would be. They're the raccoon of raccoons. They're just gross. We found a mummified possum once, by the way. That was disgusting. Nature is horrifying. That thing I was just doing there briefly is a really good way to do a lot of damage with Compa, by the way. I think Compa does double the damage Neptune's shots do. If he shoots backwards. Everyone just has one firing mode. So basically your different weapons are your different characters. And it's pretty well done. Other than the lack of features, I've really enjoyed this. And I mean, I think for a $4 game, the lack of features is justified. I mean, imagine what, like, $5 would get you in, like, a mobile shoot-'em-up game. It would give you, like, one continue and, like, a golden bullet. Like, a single golden bullet that once you shot it, it's gone. Oh, Cave, why did you go to mobile? Cave actually has some alright mobile... Ow. Shoot-'em-ups. I'm exaggerating. Shoot-'em-ups are one of the least bad things on mobile, but there are definitely some grindy, bad garbage things in mobile shoot-'em-ups. Bug Princess, I think it is? It's interesting, like, double, like, twin-stick bombing shoot-'em-up thing that was actually really good. It was pretty cheap, if I recall. Not sure if it had a free version or what, but oh god. Oof. But yeah, it was really good. I don't know if it's still out, but I played it a bit on my iPad. I don't still have it because I don't still have any iDevices. You see, Compa can really do damage. Compa is really good at like that. Why are balloons in space? Because balloon fight, that's why. So Noir is kind of like opposite Compa. She goes up. And she can like rapid fire the hell out of things if you're right below. I think her balloons do more damage than other shots, but I haven't really extensively tested that. Because you only get 3 balloons, which seems kind of weak, but... Mrs. Balloons, oh god. Mrs. Balloon Hands. Get real. As is kind of standard, ow. After you get a character, there's a level that kind of the character excels at, to some degree. Sucks to see there's so much cheating already, but they have updated this game at least once, so hopefully they'll continue to update and fix it. Iffy has kind of an iffy, if you'll pardon the pun, record on fixing bugs and stuff, but I think this might be the first. Oh god. Vert frickin' means business. Oh my god. Okay. I guess she should. Oh god. I guess it's fitting that Vert is our first true bullet hell boss. Oh god. Okay. So we're officially past the point that I have played before, by the way. Oh god. Wow. Oh, you can beat those. Okay, so I think there is some degree of boss milking you can do in this game. Boss milking is a term for like when, oh god. When you, don't defeat a boss and instead keep fighting them and perform actions that keep adding to your score. Oh, that had to have been close. Dang. Oh yeah, Vert's my favorite character. I like her personality a lot. It makes sense that Vert is like crazy hardcore, because she's the hardcore gamer of the group, so she should know shoot-'em-ups. How many lives did I lose in that? Like 4 or 5? So there's just 2 more after Vert. There's obviously Blanc, and then there is final boss, which sort of spoiled on the store, or on the Steam store page. But I mean, who else is it gonna be? obviously. Oh, right, I can't switch. I do hope there's an extra mode when I beat it that just lets me be whoever, but I'm not sure extra modes were in the budget. Ow, ow. Alright, I refuse. Is the final boss an eggplant? Close. I mean, it might be an eggplant. I know it from, I only know it from the achievement icon and the store page. As far as I'm aware, it's somebody that had a bit relating to eggplants anyway. She wasn't originally eggplant related. I do think the eggplant joke with R4 is something that they kind of, certain jokes that kind of go on too hard on, and like they like try to make that the whole character, and it's not very good. But I'm just kind of tired of seeing him for R4. Good old Arfie. I hope you guys aren't buffering like I am. My thing is buffering like mad. Let me lower the bit thing. I shouldn't even be watching my preview. In fact, I'm gonna just pause that, because I was having some frame rate issues. Seems to be all good now, though. Alright, cool. It's probably just because I'm streaming. I really let that one get away from me. That was rough. Dr. Mario! I love all the little NES. This is so faithful to like an NES style shooter too. Even to almost to the file size. I mean, it's 10 times what an NES game would be, but I mean, like just like the Steam framework and stuff is probably like a couple megabytes bare minimum. Then it has the online replay feature, which no NES game had. I'm surprised if an NES game even had a replay feature, period, let alone online, so. I like the plot in Neptunia Victory where R4 becomes like good person again, but then that's immediately abandoned and never mentioned ever again. So, okay, that's a shame. Oh. I still never actually played the original Neptunia game. I have it. Well, I put it into my PS3 to be like, hey, I have this. I bought it for the art book, to be perfectly honest. Someday I will play it. Maybe I'll stream like a little bit of it. I don't think I'd stream the whole thing. It definitely has issues. Neptunia is a series that has just improved so massively much, and it really never gets the credit it deserves for that, in my opinion. Someday I'm gonna be brave and just touch that, and maybe it's like a one-up. But I don't want to do that right now. I don't think it's a one-up though. I think it's just like a joke or something. Oh god. What am I doing? Aw. I deserve that. There was no reason for me to be on the same level as her. Aw, come on. I love that she shoots the little leaf headbands at you. The characters, I like that the characters' attacks are kind of like based on their personality. I don't know why Noir has balloons. I mean, because of balloon fight, obviously, but not really related. They're kind of like half related to the character and half not. I start making videos on YouTube. I watched a lot of ROM hack Let's Players. A little bit of Proton John, Doc Sigma, of course. There was Deceased Crab. Not that he's a ROM hack Let's Player, but I just kind of thought, huh, that's really cool. I wish I could do that. And then I like found some stuff. I was like, oh, I can do that. My first Let's Play, which was not very good, was Kirby's Dream Land 1, actually. I just liked Kirby a lot. It's a short game. I could easily record it. I used this thing called Cam Studio, which is absolutely terrible, and I hope has either massively improved or stopped existing, because it was really bad. At the time, YouTube only let you do 10 minutes, and so it was designed for YouTube. So after 10 minutes, that app just like stopped syncing audio properly. And so if I recorded a little bit too long, I had like a ruined video. That was very uncool. Oh gosh. Of course we couldn't have this when we get Noir though. People are always way cooler as bosses than they are as people. Oh god. Contrary to real life, where people are way worse as bosses than they are as people. There we go. I love her little wiggling legs. I like her little tricolor order balloons. Why is it tricolor order? There's 4 colors. I can't remember exactly the amount of colors in it. Do you know there's a design document with a bunch of old PlayStation 1 like logos. I had some frame drops there. There's a bunch of old PlayStation 1 logo like, you know, design doc thing. And a lot of them are really cool and have like this kind of like Wipeout aesthetic, like Wipeout the, you know, the PlayStation game. They're really cool. They look like Wipeout teams. I like it. All right. Okay. Oh god. Okay. So the primary thing of fighting Vert is to just stay the hell away from Vert at all times. I like those like ghost rings from this is for Noir. You can kind of tell which character each phase is kind of for. I have like not hit her once. Okay. Oh god. No, she does it multiple times. I think that's her last time. Yep. I hope she does the awesome drill spears when I get her. Please, please be done. I can't deal. I can't deal with this. Oh gosh. Please. Oh god. Woo. Have I gotten a YouTube plaque yet? I think the first one. Oh, whoa. Whoa. Sweet! Oh, you gotta wait for it to fully charge, though. Interesting. I'm scared to use it, though, because it's new. I think the first YouTube plaque is at either 1 million or 100,000, so no, I don't have anything yet. Holy crap, it's like instant KO. It's not really suited for trash mobs, though. It's more for the big boys. Oops. Should be good for bosses, though. Oh god, she's Flappy Bird. Of course she is. Okay, you can shoot through the dog ooze, that's good. Okay, you can boss milk everyone past the first couple bosses. I guess that makes sense. Can't farm too early on. Ow. Frickin' mahjonged. That's so topical for NES too. There's so many Mahjong games on SNES and regular NES. Regular human NES, oh god. Frick. I guess it's because, you know, it's easy to do. It's a known game. You know, you can have a reasonable expected amount of success with it because it's popular. Whew. Fitting to defeat her with Vert. First try. She's got Mahjong. She's got a Mahjong shield. That's adorable. Oh, dang. This is... Oh, frick! I didn't realize I had 0 hits left. Well, at least we saw all the characters. And I like that it gives you achievements after the end of the thing. It doesn't distract you with them. I've always appreciated that, and like, especially in horror games, it's nice when it doesn't just barf achievements at you. It's like, congratulations. It's like, no, I'm ruining the atmosphere. A game that did that really well is, Lone Survivor. Lone Survivor only does it after you save, which is pretty cool. Parskins. Yes, hello. Hello. I'm surprised you haven't interrupted yet. It's way past time for you to do that. I really hope we get a mode where you can just be everyone from the start after you beat it. This game is difficult as hell, bullet hell. Yeah, it's by no means the hardest, but yeah, it's... I would say it's fairly much on par with like a NES thing. A little bit different in the difficulty. But it doesn't really get bullet hell until, I mean, even Vert's kind of... I mean, there's not a lot of trash bullets. The thing that a lot of, like... Bullet hell games look a lot more impressive than they kind of are, because there's a lot of trash bullets. This game tends to not have too many trash bullets, like just sprayed around at random. Of course, you can still hit a trash bullet and, you know, die, but it's definitely hard, but I would still check it out. I mean, it's only $4 right now. It's 20% off for the first week, and I'd say it's a fairly good learning curve. I would say the best game to learn bullet hells and shoot 'em ups on is still Bullet Heaven 1 and 2, but I would say this is an alright first. Oh god, that was... I'm just gonna say it for myself, but that was a pretty good dodge. This isn't the worst. By the way, for a game, I'm surprised how well I have the feel of the hitbox in this, because it's really not obvious. It's basically Neptune's nose. It's really not obvious what your hitbox is here. In fact, it's smaller than I thought it was, which it should be. Hitboxes in a game like this should be about like 1 pixel. But often there's like a mode to have the hitbox visible, or like a character has like in Gun Dead and bleh. This game's name always messes me up. Gun Deadly, it's a real name. Character has a little crystal on their chest, and that's your hitbox. It's the kind of game name that only a Japanese person who thinks English sounds super cool wouldn't make. That's another really good bullet hell series, though. The Gundamonium series. There's 3 quite different bullet hell style games in that pack, and they're really good. I'm surprised how often I get asked what my tap is, and it's a tap. That's the answer. Frick. No extra damage this time. Yeah, tap's from Yoshi's Island. My favorite enemy from it. They're like almost not even an enemy, they just kind of chill. Speaking of, there was too few taps in fact, were there taps in Yoshi's Crafted World? I think we saw one like fairly early, but I haven't seen them in a while. I like Yoshi's Crafted World. It's a different feel from Yoshi's Island though, which Good Feel just kind of does that. Good Feel makes it more about collecting stuff than, you know, fighting stuff. That's just kind of what they do. But it kind of leaves you feeling like the bad guy in Good Feel games. Like, the enemies are just kind of dicking around and having a good time, and you're just there to beat them up, and it kind of feels bad. Like in Kirby's Epic Yarn, there's this one point where there's just 2 sleeping Waddle Dees with a heart in beads over their head. It's like, you're gonna ask me to beat those up? No way. You're just having a good time. I think somebody like pointed it out on stream or something, but I can't remember what it looked like. But yeah, there definitely haven't been a lot, and I'm like 2 worlds away from the end now, I think. I haven't seen them again. Which, though, I think they only showed up like 2 worlds from the end in the original. Oh, what am I doing? This is the attack to use on that. Boss designs are pretty good for like a studio that's never done a shoot 'em up before. This is pretty impressive stuff. Ow. I mean, some of the attacks are derivative, but I mean, they always are in these, you know? There's only so many ways you can make bullets be. But, they did a really good job with this. I'm pretty impressed for, you know, randomly released, not quite April Fool's Day joke game. This is quite good. The Neptunia games are on PC now. In fact, this one's only on Steam, which is a real oddity for the series. I kind of hope they put it on at least PS4 and maybe Switch. It's so weird. I'm going to be getting the Switch version of a Neptunia game for the first time, because the PlayStation version they dicked up for some reason. They did the stupidest thing, too. There's this scene of Vert where she's, like, you know, in her nightgown and, like, playing a game. And you just, you know, there's thigh there. She's not naked or anything. It's not a sexual situation. She's playing a fucking video game. And they edited out the thigh of this adult woman that's playing a video game. It's like, what? Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna get the Switch version to not just because, you know, it has the unruined stuff. Thighs end lives, man. I mean, come on. We can't be letting kids see thighs. That's where babies come from. They pop out of the thigh. If my Alabaman, you know, pregnancy knowledge is correct, which I'm sure it is. Everyone from Alabama fully understands pregnancy and birth. Obviously, that's why they have such good laws about it. Oh god. That was way too close. I like the sound those make. It sounds like a Zelda sound. It sounds like something from, oh god. From Mahuzawaza. That NES or Game Boy Zelda game. The Windfish one that's getting a remake. I never beat that one, so I'm ready for the remake personally. I can't really deal with Game Boy Advance inventory, or not regular Game Boy inventory. Sorry, that was terrifying. My body just isn't really ready for switching weapons every 3 seconds through a menu. It's really unpleasant. It's a great game. It's just that alone is so incredibly annoying. Sorry if I make noises when I'm playing these games, but I mean, if you play them, you would understand. I'm sure there was noises that you would make as well. Especially while playing this with chat on. Honestly, it's a terrible idea. Especially for a first play. I usually do at least a little bit of practice for these. If I'm gonna talk over them, because this is me playing at maybe like 70% at best capacity. Because it's just... oh fuck. Not possible. Oh god. You were definitely supposed to use Vert for that, and I fucked it up. Oh well. I'm not really playing for score. Ah. I do not have the timing of the... I don't have the timing of Vert's thing down at all. I like the directionality thing. They do a really good job with that with the bosses. Oh god. Oh, come on. Ugh. It'd be nice to beat this tonight. I'm not sure if we will, but I would like to at least see the final boss. We're definitely making solid progress, though. I almost kind of like that this forces people to, like, actually play it and learn it, though. Because a lot of people will just, like, credit feed through a game like this, and they'll beat it in, like, you know, an hour or two, and they'll be like, oh, I beat the game, I don't need to play it anymore. It's like, well, no, we're supposed to learn it and, you know, do well. That's why I like when there's kind of a middle ground where they have, like, something to work towards, some unlocks and stuff that kind of reward you for, you know, playing gradually and getting better and all that stuff. It's definitely a genre that I think would have flourished a bit better if it had... Ow. I'm gonna redo for that one. If it had Chivos early on. By the way, any Europeans out there, go to vote in your goddamn elections. Vote in all of your elections, anyone from anywhere, but there's this big EU elections going on that apparently have really low turnout. So, yeah. Never trust anybody that tells you not voting is like a valid thing, like, ever. And there's no such thing as a protest vote by not voting. That's just supporting whoever wins, no matter who they are. It's being an idiot. Yep, I'm 100% freedom-raised American. Not from Alabama, though, thank God. There's something that you don't understand about shoot 'em ups by just watching them. Once you're like even just serviceably okay at them, you just get in this kind of zone playing in them. And it's just a very zen experience, and you kind of feel, you can feel where you are, you'll feel what will hit and what won't. You don't really have to be necessarily super good. I didn't used to be good at these. I used to be terrible. Like, I had to Konami code the hell out of Gradius 3 to beat it on, even on Virtual Console. And it was kind of a painful time. But the first game, I just sat down with Hitogata Happa. It just had really good music. I liked the different character styles, and I wanted to learn it. So I just sat down and I just had a bitch of a time. Took hours, but I got pretty dang good at that. I even beat the Destiny 13 mode. I beat the super boss even, eventually. Sometimes it's just kind of, ow. You gotta do it. You just gotta sit down and say, hey, I want to beat a game. And then you just do it. And a lot of them, like I said, have a lot of really good accessibility features that help players that aren't super good or just even just playing first time. I would always say, definitely always play on the easy mode if there is one on your first time playing a thing. That is what they are for. Like, a lot of genres like ruin people and think, oh no, I don't need to play on the easiest mode. That's for babies. Like, but no. If you don't know a shoot 'em up, you really genuinely should, because you need to, you know, you learn progressively and get progressively better. It's just got to really feel, it's got a really good feeling of learning a skill. Oh yeah, Bleed is really good. Bleed's another one that I think is a pretty beginner friendly. It's just so action packed and feels really good. Levels aren't super long. You don't have to play it all in one go. So it gives you, it's a good opportunity to get, the Bleed is a little weird considering, it's very different from a lot of bullet hell stuff, but it's still pretty much in the genre. Ow. Should not have taken that hit. And just weaving through bullets and stuff, it just feels really good. This is the one genre that makes me feel like really like I'm doing something kind of impressive, like, you know, really getting a skill. I don't really play games just to, like, you know, be Mr. Cool Man, play game, have high score, but I don't know, something different about shoot 'em ups to me. I haven't beaten Bleed because the last boss is the bitch. Yeah, they're hard. I really like Bleed, that was a good one. It's kind of neat how it's like telegraphed, and you get a little breathing period when each boss changes their phase and you need to use a different character. Oops. Oh god. Ow. I keep taking damage to that phase now. I shouldn't. Whew. Alright. I'm not afraid of spiders, and your thing does not appear to be a spider. I can't really tell though. I can barely see it. It's not really a look at chat intensely. Ah, kind of stream for exactly that reason. Even the pacing of extra lives seems really good on this. Ah. For a first shoot 'em up, this really is. Ah, god damn it! I gotta stop talking. Pretty good. This time. Ah, okay. Those are more dangerous if you're up top. Oh, it's a scorpion. I just assumed it was some kind of anime person head, honestly. I just see a non-hair color with like pinkness under it. I just assume that's some sort of anime that I don't know. I also like the genuine rotated sprite look of the not quite straight at you Dagus. I kind of appreciate when games do that properly. Sprite rotation is an iffy thing, but for a game like this, I really appreciate when it's done genuinely. And there's no pixel mismatching either. A lot of Western indies do that really bad, where there's like multiple different pixel sizes at the same time on screen and it looks bad. None of that here. I'm not feeling good that I took a hit already, but I don't want to restart every single hit. We're learning so many new kinds of Dagus in this game. So in the originals, there's the red ones, there's the blue ones, of course. There's the steel ones. The yellow ones are new. And there's some green ones. Don't think there's green ones. See a green one, I think that's about it for the new ones, but still. Lore database updated. I just hope people don't like flip out and get mad over the difficulty of this. Because only Dark Souls is the only game allowed to be difficult, apparently. Dark Souls has to be difficult, but bullet hell games are not allowed to be difficult. I never understood that. Uh-oh. That was a bad spot. We salvaged it well enough. feels good to do a Neptunia game again, by the way. Feels like there's been a really long gap in them. There was Mega Miracle Force, but it's not really... I don't fully count that as a Neptunia game. I do have a guide for that, by the way, if you want to play it. It's pretty average in terms of, you know, Gashapon mobile game stuff. There is a channel... I have a Neptunia channel in my Discord. It's not just for that game. It started because of that game, but that was just the only Neptunia game out at the time. Well, new one, anyway. Really excited for Super Neptunia RPG, though. I think that's next month. The limited edition thing finally is up on IPV's store. You can't buy it yet, but there's a page for it. I kept thinking I missed it, because, like, shouldn't there have been one yet? It's been so long since I got a Neptunia limited edition. I've bought every single one since I started playing the games. In fact, I think I'm only missing... What am I missing? I'm missing Mark II and Victory special editions. Hell, and I think that's it. Maybe not... Oh, I don't think I have V2R. Did V2R even have a special edition? I kind of snoozed on that one. I think there was a poster I really wanted and I couldn't get it and I was just bummed and I just didn't get it at all instead. There's like store exclusive posters for Japanese game releases and it's a real pain in the butt because like the only one I can easily buy from is like sometimes I can buy from Amazon, Japanese Amazon, and then there's Ami otherwise. It's a little bit pricier, but very easy to get stuff from. I kind of got off my import kick. I used to import a ton of stuff for a while. It's pricey, but you get some nice physical goodies for certain Japanese series. Have nice physical goodies with them that the English versions usually don't. Though Iffy's been fairly good. Recently, the English versions of Neptunia stuff have had almost or all of the stuff. In a couple cases, we had extra stuff even. So Iffy's done a pretty good job on that front. I wish I could donate. Yeah, I get that not everybody can donate. I mean, a lot of people that watch are, you know, kids and stuff, don't have an income stream or just don't have a job or whatever. And that's, you know, your situation's your situation. If you could do anything about it, I'm sure you would have, so appreciate the thought. Just a sub and sharing stuff actually can help a lot. Most people do not share things on YouTube, so if you do share stuff, people are very appreciative. I'm very appreciative. Yeah. Oh, I was in a real good spot there for like 1 second. I need to find some better way to exploit that one. That one I feel like I'm losing a lot of damage on that cycle. Pixel sprites are really cute, by the way. I'm really glad that we finally got some version of a game. Because like people have wanted forever. Neptunia always has these super cute pixel endings that show the characters from like a bunch of different genres of NES games. And, ow. It's, cool that we finally get something like that. I hope they keep that trend up and, like, you know, I'd be totally down for, like, a little, like, you know, platformer just like this, or, like, a, what other kind of NES stuff is there? Maybe, like, a tiny pixel VN or something. Like a mini RPG. I guess they usually do RPGs. Ow. Frick. I always have so few health after that one. Yeah, I need to use Vert more for that stage. It's scary to use a new character, that's why I barely use Blanc too. Blanc is easier to use. I just need to get used to using Vert. Yeah, the Steel Dogu is definitely supposed to be Vert's thing. I like her dash. That's a really cool. That's basically a Canestra slash, isn't it? I just realized that. I mean, it does crazy damage and it goes through the whole screen. There's got to be some kind of downside to it. You just got to get a feel for the timing. I like that they all, you know, act different. I'm glad they're not just like exclusively just, oh, it fires in this direction. I mean, we've already got all 4 directions by the time we get Vert, so it's got to be something unique. There's just different times you use different things. I hope this does well though. I would, like I said, I would love to see more things like this from them. And people complain about too many side games and stuff. It's like, would you rather not get games? Like, there's... And for one thing, like, how are you gonna have like a main game like this? No. Something like this has to be a side game. I mean, as long as the side games are good, I don't mind them at all. The only time I really don't like a side game is when it's like the Metroid Federation Force, where it's like, we haven't had a main game in like 10 years, and like, we get something really weird and different. And like in this, the series is still quite fresh. We had Cyberdimension Neptunia, year or two ago, I guess a couple years at this point, but we're getting Brave Neptunia, which seems like it's not really a side game, so I don't really have any complaints. Like, if this was like a Metroid situation, and like we haven't seen Neptunia genuinely in 10 years, and this is all we got, I mean, that would this would still be an alright game, but I can see why people would be pissed. But that is not the case. In fact, I don't think Neptunia has even been around. I guess, man, when was the first Neptunia? I guess we're kind of just around 10-year anniversary, aren't we? Or are we? Somebody look that up. Actually, I just beat the boss, I'll look that up. I get released for Neptunia Rebirth 1. Okay, so the first one was released in 2010. So not even 10 years. I mean, we're getting Brave Neptunia. I would say that is a main game. It's an RPG, it's featured in the main cast. It's got, you know, looks like high production values. So I would say there's your next main game right there. And Cyberdimension Neptunia was just like a couple years ago, I think. Certainly not like a Metroid tier gap and stuff. I do hope they make another action RPG like Cyberdimension Neptunia though. That was really good. Tam Stuff does good stuff. B2 is the last one. I mean, it really depends how you can like define a main game. And I don't think only doing like the numbered ones makes sense in that. Like, Cyberdimension Neptunia, I think there's no reasonable reason to call that not a main game. It has all the main characters, it has high production values, it has kind of the usual plot arc stuff. It's set inside of a game, but like, it's Neptunia. Being set inside of a game just makes it more Neptunia, if anything. I thought it was really nice to see the characters kind of in a bit more casual situation. Because I think that's a lot of the best Neptunia like interactions we get is when the character's a bit more casual. And you know, just interacting with each other and not like, gotta save the world. I mean, it's kind of like a dot hack light plot anyway. You kind of are almost saving the world, so even on that front, oh god. Ah, that was almost a sick juke. These freaking gray boys, I'm sick of their attitude. I will not have it. There we go. Itch my nose. I think Neptunia has always changed a lot each game, so I think that's why it makes sense to include. Oh, that was bad. Hyperdimension stuff in them, because like I was saying earlier, the games have changed and improved a lot. If you go from the first game, pretty damn rough. Mark II is like a good but slightly screwy, like underrated RPG kind of thing, and then Victory has like a really good RPG format, and it's got some problems still. And then Victory 2 I thought was fantastic. Oh, damn. Ver is definitely where things get really intense. Yeah, they've always done pretty major change-ups. I do think what kind of screws up the series is that a lot of people only played the rebirths, especially on PC, and so they think that, oh, this is what Neptunia is. Neptunia is a slightly readjusted Victory engine, because that's what all three of those are based on. And they think Neptunia games come out like twice a year, because those were remakes and they were made quickly. And that gave people... the Rebirth series, I'm glad we had them and stuff, but I think it was released in a slightly messed up way, and I think it gave people some slightly bad impression of what to expect from the series. Especially because Rebirth 3 gives you DLC characters for free, which is neat for a remake, right? But the DLC characters are completely unbalanced, so, and you get them super early. Victory is actually pretty hard, especially early on. You have like 2 characters, right? Whereas in Rebirth 3, you have like 8 characters at the start, and you can one-shot bosses with Histoire at that point in the game in Victory 3, or Rebirth 3. You cannot one-shot any boss in Victory. Yeah, Rebirth 1 is pretty unbalanced too. Rebirth 1 has that Blackheart fight that's way too early. And a lot of people freaked out about that and thought, oh, this game is super hard, you gotta grind crazy much. It's like, no, they just kind of... I wonder if they, like, cut out a dungeon before that fight and they just didn't rebalance their level or something. Because it's really just that fight. It's so weird. And it's so early on, it gives people really bad impressions. That's one thing that, unfortunately, Neptunia has kind of done a lot, is give really bad early first impressions, but, like, I mean, when else is that first impression gonna be? But like, if you actually persevere with it, it's great. It's just, they have a bad habit of, like, putting the cheesecake CG art way too early in, so people think, oh, it's gonna be this every 20 minutes, and then it's like, oh, no, that was the only one in the game. We just put it in the first 5 minutes. Which, that, Rebirth 1 does that pretty intense. But yeah, Pishi and, oops, this is not gonna be a winning run either. Pishi and Plutia are really overpowered in, Rebirth 1. I wish it was a bit clearer on stuff like that. But it's especially bad with Victory 3 because there's nothing that tells you these characters are not supposed to be played with yet. There's nothing, like, story-wise, it's just Neptune and Plutia, and it seems kind of weird that you have all of these people with you. But this is because they're DLC, that it just kind of puts in there haphazardly. It's still better than Victory originally was, but I think you just get a skewed perception if you play it only with the rebirths. And it gives you the impression that the gameplay has not changed at all, when in fact, it changed massively across the 3 and got way, way better. Kind of surprised at all the stuff they went back and added to Rebirth 1 though. It has like so many more characters now, and it has like follow along mode where you can see the characters in the god damn it, in the thing. And all right, no. Really looking forward to Brave Neptunia though. I mean, I haven't played it yet, but if it's anything like Cyberdimension, I think it's basically the next main series thing. Oh, and another thing is people like, oh, well, it's in a different dimension, so it's in a, it's not a main series game, because it's not in the main dimension. Actually, every single Neptunia game has been, at least partially in a different dimension. So, like, the first game is completely retconned in the second one. They're in a different dimension, basically. You're in a dimension where the character is lost at the end of the first game. And then that Mark II dimension stays as like the main dimension, but you go to a different dimension for 95% of Victory, right? That's the V dimension. Then in Victory 2, there's 2 new dimensions. And so there's always a different dimension. That's my secret, Cap. So yeah, saying it's in an alternate universe does not make it a side game in Neptunia. Otherwise, every game is a side game. I actually have an article about that, because it is a little bit confusing, and I didn't fully understand it myself. But I made an article about which Neptunia game is kind of in which universe and stuff. It's a little bit confusing, but yeah. Really hesitant on the platform aspect. I doubt it's a big deal in it. It's probably like, didn't Princess of Light have like some super light platforming? Like, I doubt it's that bad. It's probably like the platforming, quote-unquote, in Cyberdimension. There's like a couple treasures that you've got to do a couple jumps on, and otherwise it's just movement. Plus, I mean, hell, look at this. They'd never done a shoot 'em up before. They did a great job with this, so. In fact, I'm kind of stunned. Automedius, frickin' a Gradius spin-off from Konami themselves. I don't know if it was the same dev studio, but it has terrible levels. That game, I wanted so much to like that game. It's Gradius. It's still fun to change your equipped shots and stuff, and it's fun to use the upgrade system. You know, you have cute anime girls instead of ships. It's fun, whatever. But the bosses and levels is just terrible on that. It's such a shame. I could totally 100% forgive the cutesy anime girl aspect, but it's just not good. They even made a second one. Automodius Excellent, which I think that's the one I have. Yeah, that's the one I have. And I didn't like it. I think Iffy fires faster than Neptune. Or maybe she just has more things. One thing I really love about the Neptunia stuff, the gaming references and stuff is always really well researched. What they do actually is they have like a suggestion box when they do a new game, and everybody can like toss in a gaming reference and they'll try to figure out how to work it into the game. So it's not all from one person's thing. So there's a whole bunch of different genres represented. There's a bunch of obscure stuff. There's probably no single person that just immediately got every single reference in a Neptunia game without trying to look anything up or anything. Oh, frick. Man, that was going so good too. In fact, I would be really fascinated to see if somebody would like catalog all of the gaming references in Neptunia games. It would be a big project. You definitely need it to be like a wiki. I was really disappointed the wikis do not in fact have that either. I should really be using the pill, but I'm too far away. There we go. Isn't there a Space Harrier remake? I thought it was here. I thought there was something about that. Isn't there like some new Space Harrier? I was never super into Space Harrier, I'll admit, but I never had it as a kid, so. My poor Genesis was neglected, I'm afraid to say. I only learned about new games through Nintendo Power, which obviously does not include Genesis games, so. I bought games with Sonic in the name, and that's about it. I got a few, like, I got Aladdin, the one everybody liked, and I got Vector Man. Never beat it as a kid. I got to Raster once. I never got to him ever again. That was crushing. And I got to like the very last part of that fight. I was so mad. I didn't like that Genesis games didn't usually have saves. I got spoiled by Donkey Kong Country and Yoshi's Island. My first games, by the way, which set very, very high standards for platformers. So I was really unimpressed by a lot of other like mediocre platformers, which is like a lot of the, you know, library of both of those consoles. Oh god. Wrong thing, wrong th- Aww. That was bad. Ah, frick. Actually, should be about done now. Please. Oh. Alright. Oh, they meteor at you. Whoa! I think you're fully invincible while you're doing that. Yeah, your hitbox is gone. Oh, whoa. That is really cool, actually. It's easy to get in a false sense of security, but I was not expecting that. I figured your hitbox was just still back there. Ah, frick. That's such a badass attack, though. That's just polygon-based remake of PS2. Huh. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I think I'm thinking of Fantasy Zone. Isn't that the? Oh wait, no, not Fantasy Zone. Fantasy Zone's that Opa thing. What am I thinking? Isn't there another game that's basically Space Harrier? Yeah, Vert's definitely the expert character, which again totally makes sense. You gotta get a feel for when to use it. Hey there. Also, is the Steam page correct? Was this 100% developed by Idea Factory International? That'd be really impressive. So, they did a 3D Space Harrier in. Oh no, that's just a port though. That's not a real new Space Harrier. I think anyway. There was these weird Sega 3D Classics things that was just an excuse to sell them for a higher price. I'll buy it at a high price. I like the Gradius pattern that the regular Doggoos do. Ow! Deserved that hit. Ow. Kinda disappointed there's been no, Galaga weird dancing kind of thing. Never a huge Galaga fan, but it's a fun reference. Ow. Not doing so good. What is your purpose? I also like how Iffy's the only one that faces backwards because she's super chuny and edgy. She doesn't look at explosions. Well, I'll admit, when I first got Compa, I thought she was going to be terrible. But they actually did a really good job of like making levels need all the characters. There's really nobody that I've seen so far that's totally useless. I can't say for sure about Blanc, but I'm sure she'll come in handy. The level after you get everyone has always been a level where they shine. Freaking Dogu Singularity. Also, not sure how many points a life is. I think it's 20,000. It feels really satisfying to get a lot of hits on a boss in this. Aw, frick. Things do not look good for Homestar Runner. Like that. Whew, there we go. These are some really good clears, it's just I've been taking hits. They did a great job with the chibis, considering the super low resolution. They got a lot of detail in there. Got a little owl. Ribbons in there. Get your zoom in there. Aw, frick. I feel like Capitalist111 is the only person on the entire internet who gets my Frisky Dingo references. It's a really good show. It's made by the guy who did Archer, and it basically is Archer. It's got all of the inside jokes. It's got, in fact, this thing's from Archer that were originally from that show. It's really good. It's even got a character that is basically Archer. Xander Cruz is just basically shitty James Bond. So, if you like Archer, it's really good. If you never watched Archer, it's also really good. But I need to catch up on Archer. Is it on Netflix? I'm behind on Archer and BoJack Horseboy, I think. It's a terrible name, I'll admit that. It's just random words. The show has nothing to do with dingoes or being frisky. It's like the premise is that like this guy called Dr. Doom is like a really shitty like supervillain, and the first episode isn't very good. The pilot episode, what's his name? Deathface? He's like way eviler than he is in later episodes. He's just like a lovable dork later on. There's just a lot of really good stuff. It's very like, it's got a vibe a lot like Archer, obviously, like I said, and Arrested Development. Lots of inside jokes, lots of, you know, almost wholesomely stupid people doing not wholesome things. Oh god, that was a terrifying bullet for a brief moment. Skeletor got swole. Yeah, Killface, that's his name. But it's just so good, and no one has ever heard of it. I definitely think calling it Frisky Dingo is a very poor proposition. That's like a code name you give it before you like show it to anybody. Fucking just like call it Killface. I mean, that's fine for a name, honestly. Yeah, true, Skeletor is swole. I don't understand that because he's a skeleton. But he is also swole. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't judge skeletons like that. Ow. He's trying his best. I like that it's an intermix of like gaming references and, you know, the character references with their attacks. Iffy's got the doggoos and stuff, but she's also got her little hair clips. This is a really bad fight on my behalf. Used to watch it back in the day. I realized Archer was a thing. Nah, Frisky Dingo was way before Archer. I'm glad the creator got success with Archer anyway, but it's just basically Archer 0. But if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't watched all of it, watch all of it. It does unfortunately end on a super cliffhanger that will never be resolved, unfortunately. I mean, hell, unless like, you know, Netflix buys another season of it or something, which they've been known to do. Please do that, Netflix. Be better than your fucking Jaden Smith tweets anime thing. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Is Jaden Smith, like, has he done things? Or was he just, like, famous for being a weird person? Does he have rich parents? He has rich parents, doesn't he? Is that it? Like, there's no ungodly reason he should have attention paid to him, so I assume rich parents. Oh, he's oh, he's that Smith. Oh, okay. Understood. He's not famous for any of the stuff that Will Smith is. Aw. That was super intense for a brief moment. I did not mean to ride her right near her face that close. Smith is such a common name. Like, I never would have drawn that connection. That's like such a specific Smith. I hear that show was terrible though, which I mean, how could it not be? But yeah. Ow. Oh fuck. I always get messed up by that one. You know, I interpreted this one as a thing where you're supposed to use Noir a lot, but I think it's more like, ow, mastery of the directions. I think between Noir and Iffy, you mostly have this one. Speaking of Iffy, we're gonna play Chaos Wars again at some point here. I have a lot of stuff to finish streaming first, but I think I'm just do a big grind session, get super overpowered, and then try to beat it in like one stream or two. I don't know how much like stuff there is left in it, but uh-oh. Alright, that was much better this time. Whoa! Crazy much better. Oops. Oh, frick. I love the little faces they do, though. This is an Iffy moment. Great Iffy moments in history. Ah, frick. About to have an iffy moment. Yeah, that's the anime I was talking about, the Jaden Smith anime. Why though? We can get that, but we can't get more .hack anime. It's like, what the hell, man? I really hope that .hack GU remaster wasn't the only thing they're planning with the series. I know they're making money hand over fist with all of the Naruto fighting games, so like, come on CC2, give us some .hack. That fucking like exact copy, stupid dickhole comes forever show, Sword Art Online. It's the real, that's not just me saying random offensive words, by the way. He comes 2 years worth of cum, which is definitely a real thing. That's definitely how that works. Definitely not written by a 3-year-old boy. And just, that's like some Fate tier writing. That's like, God, that's what we get instead of .hack. It's because we're in the shit universe. In some other universe, they get .hack all the time. And Donald Trump didn't win, and Alabama isn't the fucking worst thing on the planet. That or it's still the worst thing on the planet, but it's like a lot better. I mean, .hack had staying power. Like, it did a lot. Like, .hack isn't like a one-season thing that like maybe it was gonna be good, maybe it wasn't. They had books, they had, I think they had a movie that I still need to watch. I think I bought that movie and I still haven't watched it yet. I'm bad at just sitting down and doing a thing that is not, like, video games. I'm not sure how I can focus on stuff like this. Because, like, I have to be doing, like, 3 things at once most of the time. And it definitely bites me in the ass, but it's just how my brain works. They literally found the last of the slave ships. Yeah, I saw that. That's so fitting. Alabama has like 3 feet worth of ports. I mean, I'm sure it's several miles, but like, there's just like a tiny butt sliver of Alabama that actually reaches the coast. But of course they found a slave ship there. It's just, that's just an Alabama thing for there to be there. From beyond the grave, Alabama still sucks, still reminding us of their suckage. I feel so sorry for everyone that lives in Alabama, except for the shitty ones, not you guys, but there's plenty of good. There's plenty of good people in Alabama, and I wish they would get out of Alabama immediately. Like, to some extent, it would be neat to, like, vote in people that are not Alabama, but that doesn't seem like it's gonna ever happen, so I just fucking leave it for, like, the trash beasts. Leave it for, like, the 13th century people. Ow. Not doing so good this time. I think I might need to take a break in one or, you know, either at the end of this or one more run. You do need breaks with shoot 'em up, so you kind of gotta rest and mediate on what you've learned. Like, it's basically Morrowind. You gotta level up your skills, and then you gotta take a break, let your brain put it together. You can't just sit down and power through it all at once. I mean, you could, but I think it's better this way. I'm gonna take some breaks. Set a goal, a reasonable goal, try to reach it. And, yeah. I like that Noir sends out Doggoos to just fucking explode. They deserve it, though. Doggoos are the Alabama of Neptunia. Wow, damn! That was intense! But see, that's the kind of thing you start to master fights like that. And the thing about, shoot 'em ups is that, like, it's not really just about, like, one single obstacle. You kind of get better at the whole game, and that just means you have more lives to challenge the later, more difficult stuff. Oh, there's Iffy. So even even if you're not improving on the stage that you're stuck on exactly, it can be a big help to just power through the early stages faster, safer. Like, unless the difficulty is completely nonsense, you're probably not taking only hits in the you know, last level you're on. It's just a very satisfying feeling that you get good at shoot 'em up. Speaking of satisfying feelings, I finished the one thing that I really wanted to make sure I got done before I left work for this little mini vacation. Just like super easy, and I was like, just let's put my mind super ease. It was great. Oh, that was terrible. It's an interesting strategy, I was about to say. The strategy made me game over, but it's got that Mega Man thing where you kind of need to be near enemies to shoot as fast as possible. Which adds an interesting layer of strategy. I love things like that are like, originally they were just kind of done to save RAM and stuff, but it ends up being an actual gameplay mechanic. Hey, Maro. I think this will be our last run here. Not because I'm not enjoying it, but thumb's getting slightly tired, and I need to rest and meditate on what I've learned to get my, you know, base stats up. I thought they were littering and smothering slaves, smuggling slaves. Oh, no, it was an ancient slaver ship. It was from, you know, 1800s, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they found modern slave ships in Alabama. I mean, being in Alabama is a form of, like, mental, just, ugh. I just wanted to be super cool and go through those one time. You know what's weird about, like, like I was saying about how, you know, you just get these games. You get kind of a zen-like feeling. I couldn't show you the exact place of where the hitbox is in this game, but I have a better feel of it than I can explain. It really is right kind of in the middle of the face. How Americans refer to 100 years ago as ancient. It's ancient for us, come on, man. Just because you got your fucking 400-year-old churches and stuff. I mean, what are you even gonna call it? It's like really old slave ship? Like, that sounds like it could be like 40 years old or something. Grandpa slave ship. Worst grandpa. Hey, Grayson. I thought this was Uni at first, by the way, when I first saw her. It looks a lot like Uni when she's evil, but no, it's iffy. That's something for the sequel, by the way. Get the candidates in there. Get some makers. I really love the makers, and it's a shame that they're kind of like a copyright pain in the butt. Oh my god, those are still bullets. I just wanted to verify that. Well, at least now I know. I was wondering why it doesn't clear the bullets when you defeat the boss. That's a shame. Same. Bleh. Pain in the butt. Speaking of quote-unquote ancient, been listening to, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's kind of funny to see what old ideas of the future were like. It was kind of almost right about electricity being a big deal. It doesn't really work the way he talks about it, but, definitely a big deal. Turned out the power was more in computing stuff than like fucking laser guns and like giant undersea ships and stuff, but oh man, that's like the perfect distance to make her not even shoot. Oh god. Things. Come on, go for that quick one. Aw, not quite. Whew. Getting really good at the dwarf fight, at least. See, like that little dodge that I did there, that was just based on my feelings. Like there was no like measured, I know exactly where my hitbox is. Ow. Obviously, sometimes those leads into bumps like that, but there was just a feeling that I needed to move. Ah. That little frame drop there, that was weird. But again, that's probably the streaming. I always find it hilarious when people like go on the YouTube gaming subreddit and they're like really surprised that streaming 1080p 60 FPS stuff live in real time is resource intensive. They're like, what? But I can play Call of Duty on medium, dude. That's, what do you mean streaming needs resources, man? But yes, it's a real bitch. Even if you can record, no problem. Streaming depends on the quality you're streaming at, of course. But if you want to stream super high quality, which generally I recommend not doing that, because it's much harder. Ugh, I'm really bad at following the stage. You can do a lot of damage to her this stage, but ugh, I can't do a lot of damage to her this. Oh, you could just sit behind. Oh, okay. See, that's the thing you gotta, kind of thing you gotta learn. See, I'm firing early sometimes, and that's what gets me hit. I also like how it doesn't really mix directions too much. Like, there's a little pause before stuff starts appearing on the left again. So you don't, like, start using iffy and then something suddenly comes up right behind you, like, instantly. Ah! Alright. That's really fun. That's Neptunia Shooter. It's just $4 on Steam right now. I think I left a link in the description. Otherwise, just search that name. It's really good. Hopefully they fix the little title screen bug here that puts it in the wrong language. I think it's just always in Japanese at the moment, but it wasn't. That's a bug because an earlier version didn't do that. Like I said, it would be cool if they add some version of easy mode or something. But it's still really good and just feels really faithful to, you know, older games. If anything, it's just more faithful in that it doesn't have, you know, easy mode. I do really like modern shoot 'em ups for having lots of accessibility options and stuff, but at the time this game came out, not this game. At the time this game is referencing, games would usually not have a difficulty option, or like this would be the easy mode, basically. So yeah, that was fun. Fun streaming for y'all. Up next tomorrow is Pokemon Sprite reviews, which is a weird segment, but it was really fun, and I'm really looking forward to this next one. It's we've got all of Gen 2 through 5 Pokemon done in Gen 1 style, like, you know, red-blue style, like really jank style. So let me get a link to that. Completed, upcoming. Let me see if I can find the sheet for you. There should like have these links ready to go. Here's the link. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Here we go. Let me just for a brief moment show you this image. This blessed image. This is what we're going to be looking over. If you never played Pokemon Gen 1, it's a real trip. And apparently the red-green were even worse. We showed those off. Yeah, those are the red-green ones. Those are the extra shitty ones. But we've got, look at these boys. Those are some fine young men right there. But we won't spoil too much. That's for tomorrow's stream. And then this weekend, we're going to be playing Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People, which actually goes offline. It leaves Steam like the 27th, I think. So that is a damn shame. And if you want to get that game, it is really good. I really enjoyed it my first time playing. And it's been years since I played that, so the joke should be pretty fresh for me. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, I got my little Neptunia plushies here to give me power. The little roly-poly. They're basically Tsum Tsums. But I have them here to raise my energy level. But, yeah. Good night, everybody. Pics of them later. Let me see. I can find, like, online pics of them. Plushies. I don't know what they're called. Pony plushies. These boys. Here we go. Whoop. Just imagine them here giving me power. Secretly seeping their evil energy into me as I play. Yeah, they're all here. Not quite in that order, but close. Under my main monitor here. I just kind of always have them here. They're just usually here. I got them and a Kirby on my desk at all times. I'd have bigger stuff, but like Parker would knock it over. He doesn't really knock these over. Anyway, good night, everybody.